So I'm just gonna be talking and I'm playing Minecraft on my computer. You can't see it, but computer. Anyway, I'm playing Minecraft, so I'll just talk. Alright. So towards the end of the year, I always think about my life and think about everything I've gone through. All of the trauma and all of the bridges I've burnt. You know, I got kicked off a Minecraft server and a Discord server because I was making dark jokes about Minecraft, saying, hey, let's build, certain camps for literally nitwit villagers, the green villagers. Because I thought, they're useless, but that's just my dark humour. And obviously I push people away for that. It's because I don't know how to react around people, especially new people. I always try treating everyone like my friends, and it's like, oh, you're treating people like your friends, and it's like, not everyone is your main group of friends, So, yeah. I've upset a load of people in my life. I've pushed so many people away. I've said some stuff that was stupid for me to say at the time. I've said inappropriate stuff, like just info dumping, when drunk, regardless on the topic. They could be talking about how trains work, and I just go, have you heard of Unit 731? And I go on an entire tangent of history, whether it be history, biology, or whatever the fuck. And I've pushed a load of people away. And people tolerated me then more than they should have. I'm gonna be honest, I was a piece of shit. But I was drunk, so a load of people just went, she's drunk, deal with her. But I was dealing with a heavy amount of trauma. This was in 2021, by the way. And no, there's those conversations online. That was 2022, early 2022, when I actually met one of my best friends who, I love them. I get annoyed with them, typical British best friends. They're your best of friend and your worst of enemy. I love them. They are, to me, family. I consider them family. I consider them my sibling because they're non-binary. I love them. But, where I met them, the group of people and the whole server, I was a raging alcoholic, and I regret that. Because what happened on Christmas Day 2021, I was sexually assaulted by my ex-boyfriend. He was a trans man. His name was James. He hadn't started hormone treatment. So in the eyes of the law, he would be considered as female. But I will always call him male, and I will always refer to him as him, because even though as much as I hate him, and is the first person who I would want wiped from the history books, basic human decency, I hate them, clearly, but, he assaulted me, leading me to drink heavily, which destroyed my relationship because we were in a throuple with another person called Val, and I still talk to Val. They have genuinely been my fucking rock. They have kept me tied to this mortal coil. But yeah, dealing with this and all of that, I've just been dealing with a lot of regret. And my actions that I've done aren't an excuse. My trauma is not an excuse for what I've done, but it is the reason. I said horrible, horrible things to good people, and I regret it. Every single day I live in regret about this. And I have said other horrible things when drunk over the past year. Which is why, in good part, I decided to go completely sober again, and I'm going to be maintaining sobriety. Because I have burnt way too many bridges. And I've met wonderful people. And I destroyed all of those friendships. And I hate it so much. I want to go back in time to my drunk self and I want to kill them. I don't hate anyone more on this planet than myself. As in on a deep, personal, unbridled hatred. People are going to call me a self-hating trans person. You're not really trans, you just hate yourself and you're making yourself more miserable. No. I do not hate myself because I am trans. I hate myself because I was a fucking belligerent alcoholic who had burnt so many fucking bridges, destroying so many relationships with good fucking people. I've trauma dumped to complete fucking strangers when blackout drunk. Like, what the fuck was wrong with me? I had no control over myself. So yeah, just that's what I'm constantly thinking about. To get worse. Like, here's a good question. What do you call something that isn't a dream you have when you go to sleep, but it's not a nightmare at the same time? You don't wake up in a cold sweat. You wake up and you go, what the fuck? Not angry, not terrified, but just go, what the fuck was that about? Well, I still have, or occasionally have started to have weird dreams, I guess you could call them, visions of my ex-boyfriend. And me just shoving aside the abuse and choosing to stay with him. And my brain goes, you were in the wrong. And it's like, what? So what if he raped you? You were happy, weren't you? He was the one you loved. You could shove it to one side quite easily. And yeah, that's what I've just been thinking about. So riddled with trauma and regret that I am just, well, I'm one bad day away from going to Grippy Sock prison, to be honest. You know? But I've spoken to doctors and they've genuinely said going to a mental health. Sorry about that, but yeah, the doctors said going to a mental hospital would be the worst thing for you, Gwen. And so I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I have so much regret because I can't forgive myself. And I need to move forward. But one of the best ways of moving forward is by saying sorry. But we'll be on that point. So yeah, life, the universe and everything in my head is just, I don't know anymore. I really don't know. Sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone.